everyone. So today I want to continue and finish this page in my Jane Davenport canvas journal, and I'm coming to the end of it anyway, and before I go on holiday I want to do a flip through for you. That video probably will be coming out when I will be away, but as I said, I'm pre-recording the videos now. So beach scenes is what I really like, and every time I'm relaxing on a beach, whenever that happens, then I just observe what's happening, and sometimes you can see some interesting characters, and I always want to capture those moments in my journal. So I'm going to start today by using my platinum carbon ink fountain pen, and it's loaded with the carbon ink as well, which is basically waterproof, so you can use it under watercolors. And let's see, so I'm going to sketch out a few scenes. So I'm drawing these from memories, and some of them I will look at the pictures that I took from previous year, etc. So let's start. I'm hoping to get a few scenes in. I don't know how many I'll be able to get. So let's start here. Okay, so this one was quite funny. This one was actually, the head is too big. I want to make them quite small. Alright, so here I have drawn out a few, took me probably about 10 minutes, a few scenes from the beach, and the point is to really just draw them quite sort of quickly, and of course sometimes you will struggle with the proportions, and so let's start here. So here is just the scene of a kind of, you know, largish woman with a very skinny guy, so I thought that was a really, if I could have taken a good picture of it, I would have framed it, because it looked kind of so retro, and I don't know, it looked really funny but cool at the same time. And then we've got here obviously two guys chatting to one another. This one I really messed up because it was hard for me to capture the right proportion here. So it's supposed to be someone laying on their front with their face resting on their wrists. However, you know, it kind of looked weird without the body, just like so, and then with the body it kind of looks like that person is flying, so I think I'll scratch that one. Then this one is just a classic one, sitting with one leg raised up, and with the umbrella, under the umbrella, and then here's just a bunch of like one toddler and a baby. So that was quite easy as well. So sometimes you can struggle and sometimes it's easy. So let me then move on to the watercolor. Okay, so the favorite blue at the moment is Mayan Blue Genuine, and it's just perfect for sort of water scenes, beach scenes. So I'm just going to add it Obviously the easiest way of painting a beach scene is dividing the space of blue and golden colors. So the golden would be for, it could be yellow, it could be metallic, it would be for the sand, and then we have the blue obviously for the water. So here I'm using buff titanium. It's a color that's commonly used for skin tones, mixing skin tones. It's a good starting point, but yeah, it's sort of a very kind of neutral, light beigey color. It might be a bit too dull, so at which point you can then take a gold and then you can just dab it in just to create a bit of warmth. And sometimes also like to dab some gold into the water to create some reflection. So this is just, you know, very easy sketching. So okay, I'm going to attempt doing this one just because why not, but it's like I said, I don't think it's a successful illustration here. So I'm just going to very easily again go in for the water here in the background, and this time maybe go for the quinacridone gold for a little bit more goldy sand effect over here. And then if I want to darken things, I might just add a little bit of that. For her swimsuit, I'm going to go in to this pink and give her pink bottoms, and that is it. Then obviously you need to color in their skin, which is something I will do later on. I'm first doing the background. Here again, here they're probably standing right, or they actually were standing with their feet in the water just touching, so that's what this going to be like, slightly different. And then for the sand I'll probably go in again, oh sorry, into the quinacridone gold, make it quite colorful this time. And you can see the quinacridone gold being a very powerful and strong color is immediately going into the blue, but I will just let it get on. And let's see, sort of becoming an interesting little illustration here, and I might add some gold into there as well. And I am actually going to darken this bit up just because it's a little bit too green at the minute. And then just add a bit of water, just making the water darker here. And that could of course suggest a you know, like an evening scene or something like that. Okay, going back into this blue, I'm going to continue with this figure. It's just fun to do a little kind of, you know, layout in your journal, because it is summer and you might not be at the beach yet, but you might be heading there or not. But it's always fun to do these quick kind of illustrations. And let's see, so the here the sand is a bit too yellow, so I'm just going to go in with some gold. And add a bit of the gold into here as well. And then I actually quite like this. It's a very dramatic kind of illustration compared to that. Okay, and now let's do the kids. So with the kids, I'm going to create a more kind of turquoisey water this time, just because I want to have more color with the kids illustration here. So into that, I'm going to go in with this beautiful, what's it called? Ultramarine Turquoise by Daniel Smith. So this is a great option if you like this type of color for mixing or for using as it is, but you don't like the staining properties of a typical phthalo green or viridian. This is perfect because not only is it in between phthalo green and phthalo blue, but it's non-staining. So for me, that's a big plus. Okay, so that's for the water. And then let's see, I'm going to this time put a bit more muted sand, so between them, but also golden it up slightly. So I want the water to be more dominant here with nice goldy sand, like so. So this actually looks like a Ukrainian flag here. I might actually try and rescue the color. Oh, this is a bit too much with the quinacridone gold, but I think it's possibly a little bit better than that yellow. It was just a bit too yellow for my liking. Okay, so now back to people. Look at the page, it's just so neat, isn't it? You have little 6 illustrations that are within the same topic, within the same subject, and they just look so cute because they're different colors, different scenes. So you can do that really quickly and really easily. Now for the skin tone, I'm not going to spend too much time, but what I will do is I will mix buff titanium with that new favorite color of mine, which is the English red earth, and I'm just going to give them a little skin tone. Like so. This one I remember was very tanned. She was very dark. And the guy, actually, that's the other thing, he was quite pale. So they was just so contrasting. So I'm going to leave him like that, but I will go back into her color later. So this one was a typical kind of too long in the sun color. That's the other thing you can do, is play around with the colors. And I'll give her a dark hat. Oh, that was too much water still here. I'll just dab it off. And so that's her hat. Still wants to travel into here. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. And then let's move on to this one. So she'll probably, because of the very dramatic sand, she will have to be very dark color. So I'm thinking of giving her a nice rich skin tone. So I'm going to mix quinacridone gold with the deep scarlet. Now here I'm trying to really avoid touching the sand. Mind you, these are all sort of fun illustrations. Of course, people don't come in these exact colors, but that's the point of this lovely, quick, kind of fun illustration. And I'm going to give her a red hat, just because it sort of looks nice here with the colors. And then for the umbrella, something that would look quite interesting. I'm going to go into the very pink and yellow probably. There we go. Nice summery colors, and I'm going to touch them so that they move in actually into one another and make it a little bit more interesting, like so. And then just a little bit here. Okay, so this one is finished. These guys, I'll leave them quite pale for a contrast. She's not really successful, so we won't spend much time on her. I will go back onto these two just to darken up her skin tone in particular, and then now let's do the kids. Now the kids, obviously, I don't want to be too dark skin tone because we know it's not healthy, but I'm going to think of the colors that I already laid on, and I want the colors to work quite nicely, so hence why I'm going to think about that. They of course are, again, not very natural skin tone, this one, but at the moment I'm thinking about the colors, how they work together, and again always trying to make one side darker than the other, just for a little bit more of a suggestion of the sun coming from here and the shadow cast that way. Okay, so now I am going to mix up a color that's similar to this. I'm going to go into that deep Scarlet. Because she her skin is still quite wet, I'm going to dab it off and give it a quick blast with the heat gun. At this point, I'm going to create quite a drastic color skin here. And then washing out my brush and really dabbing it off and making it quite dry, I'm just going to pull the brush alongside. Okay, so the card got full, so I had to swap it for another one. I hope you saw what I was doing with her skin tone right here. I'm just going to try and lift this red so that the legs don't look like they're coming together, but I'm going to obviously put a little bit of this red onto here as well, otherwise it looks like half of her body is white. So here we have got this typical contrast of two people, which is quite fun. Here we've got the kids playing, a woman spending too much time in the sun, two pale guys chatting to one another. So there is a variety of things that you can notice at a beach, and I always like to document that in a journal. Let me just dry these illustrations quickly and then show you what the gold how the gold watercolor looks like, because it's very pretty what it has been doing here in some of the places. Okay, so here they are. There's only two bits that aren't dried, and I don't want to dab them off because I find these particular bits quite beautiful. So the darkness on his leg works really well because it's sort of like a cast shadow, and then the turquoisey color here as well, I don't want to dab off, but in other cases I have dabbed off the color, and it's very beneficial for creating extra texture and interest in your illustration. So like you can see here, and a few bits over here and there. So let's look at the gold watercolor. So here you can see how pretty it looks. So if you look straight onto it, it just looks like buff titanium with a bit of tiny little bit of something there, but then you can see the gold shimmering, and that's very pretty, and a little bit of it also here. And then I won't talk about this one just because I don't like her much. It looks just, you know, not right to me. Then here, yeah, just really beautiful contrasting colors, and it came out exactly as I remember it. So, you know, every time I look at it, it makes me smile. Then this one is very bright, very kind of, you know, hot summer's day. And then look at the gold that went into the water, and there is gold in the quinacridone gold as well. And then the kits over here, I love the turquoise, the ultramarine turquoise. It looks so beautiful by Daniel Smith, and obviously the gold with it is a perfect combination. Yeah, so that is it, and it was super fun. So I hope you will attempt some beach scenes in your journal, whether you're going to the beach this year or not. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.